Hey, welcome back to the Uncomfortable is Okay podcast, coming straight at you from the internet. I'm your host, Chris Desmond, and this is the show where we try and figure out how to get better at doing the hard stuff that makes life exciting. Friday is usually a short strategy episode from me, but what I thought I'd do is something a little bit different today. Earlier this week, I went to an event put on down at a local gym here in Wellington called Sweat, put on by Lululemon and supporting the Movember Foundation. So it was a whole bunch of dudes in a room having a HIIT class, doing some yoga, doing some mindfulness, sharing some stories, opening up and supporting each other. And it's really cool to be able to do that and do that in real life and hear some of the challenges that people are going through and knowing that you're not alone. And that is, that's one of the things that the podcast is all about, actually, is sharing those stories. So not only can you get better at doing the things that make life exciting, is that also you get better at dealing and feel more supported at dealing with just some of the tough stuff that life throws at you from time to time. So what I thought I would do is I thought that on social media, I would start up just posting something called daily discomfort. So throwing up a picture a day on social media, or just a post a day on social media about something uncomfortable that happened to me during the day, and the lessons that I learnt from it, that are lessons that I took away from it. Because social media is usually a pretty curated space. I try and keep things reasonably open, reasonably honest, and show kind of the behind the scenes of some of the stuff that's going on in my life, especially around the uncomfortable things. But even I probably edit that a little bit just to try and make myself look good, I guess. But what I thought would be cool is that, as well as having this in-person space that I was able to attend and a whole lot of other dudes were able to attend earlier this week, I know that a lot of people listening aren't here in Wellington, can't come and have a sit down. But what I thought we could do is we could support each other on social media about getting better at dealing with discomfort by sharing some of the small things or the big things on a day-to-day basis that make us uncomfortable, some of the lessons that we've taken away from them. And I thought what would be awesome is if we use the hashtag daily discomfort, and then everyone can just follow along with that. And I think it's probably easiest to do it on Instagram, but I've also been sharing, I've started this for a couple of days, and I'll read you I'll let you know the last 2 days uncomfortable things that have happened to me as well. So probably easiest to do it on Instagram, but I've also been sharing the posts on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter as well. So if you use the hashtag daily discomfort, no matter what social network you're on, we'll all be able to follow along and learn off the lessons that you've picked up from the uncomfortable things that have been happening to you. Hopefully we'll be able to teach each other some lessons and have some collective learning. But also hopefully we'll be able to have a big sense of community and a sense of support as well, that hey, everyone goes through uncomfortable times, everyone deals with difficulty, and yeah, the stories may be slightly different, but the feelings are often quite similar, and that it's really, really normal to have uncomfortable things happen every day in your life. But it's those times where we are uncomfortable, it's those times that we're in the valleys rather than in the peaks, that often we learn the most about life and we learn the most about ourselves. So I think that's a cool opportunity here to share some of the life learnings and help each other get better at just dealing with hard stuff during life. So if you're keen to jump on board, I'm going to be doing it up until at least Christmas with the hashtag daily discomfort. If you want to jump on board for a day, if you want to jump on board for a week, if you're kind of just want to do it sporadically, then that's cool too. Or if you want to do it all the way up until Christmas, then that's amazing as well. I'll see how much I like it. Potentially it's turned into a habit by then that I might keep going afterwards. But the commitment's there till at least Christmas. So jump on board, and would love to hear what's making you uncomfortable, but also what you learnt from it as well, so I can learn off you. So recording this on Thursday night, so I started Daily Discomfort on Wednesday. So Wednesday's discomfort, or Wednesday's uncomfortable action, was going for a swim in the sea. And to be honest, it wasn't that horrible, but it was one of the first swims in the sea of the season, and the water temperature was probably about 14 degrees Celsius. So that's reasonably brisk, it's reasonably chilly. So wandered up, felt a little bit apprehensive about going in. And then obviously when you're going into cold water, it's pretty uncomfortable when you're starting off. When you dip your toes, you're walking in, your legs, and then getting under for the first time. But actually what I found is once I was in, it was actually nicer to be submerged under the water, even though it was cold, than standing up in the wind. So the lesson that I learnt from that was that the anticipation is often worse than the action. And once I was in the water, it was okay. Albeit for, I think we were only in there for like somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes. But it was the walk to the beach and it was getting in that caused more apprehension. So it's that anticipation that's often worse than the action, was the lesson that I took away from that one. And today's uncomfortable action was, I was up early. Connor wasn't awake. He usually comes for a walk strapped to me when I take Fox out, so it's usually a walk. But today he was still asleep when I got up to take Fox out this morning. So we actually went for a little bit of a jog, which was quite nice. But I had my cell phone in my back pocket, and my back pocket just had a Velcro tab that was holding it up. And unfortunately, just as I was about to get home, obviously the Velcro had come undone, and my phone popped out, landed on the pavement. And I've dropped my phone before, but this time it was one of those unlucky spots that just sent things haywire. And my screen has gradually gone through 50 shades of purple over the course of the day until it's black now. So I've ended up with a new phone today because it is kind of important that I have one for the stuff that I do. And it was pretty annoying and it was pretty uncomfortable because I was really myself for having that happen and not looking after the phone better, but also having to go out and spend money that I was trying to save to buy a new phone. And the interesting thing was that it also reduced my enjoyment of a couple of cool things that happened to me today as well. So a couple of lessons from this uncomfortable action is that discomfort is usually much better when we choose it, when it happens out of our own volition, when we can pick the thing that is going to make us uncomfortable, like going for a swim in cold water, rather than something that happens to us. Second part of the lesson though is when life throws some discomfort at us, it's usually best to accept it, deal with it as best we can, and then get on with living life. So here are a couple of just really basic uncomfortable things that have happened to me in the last couple of days and how they've made me feel and the lessons that I've taken away from them. So would love if you guys wanted to jump on board with the hashtag Daily Discomfort on social media. I'll definitely be doing it on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on Twitter as well. So feel free to throw them up there, or if you want to start it on some other social media platforms, then go for it too. I may not be able to see them because I'm not on all of the social media platforms. Feel free to tag me in the post as well, in the picture, so that I can come and have a look and I can comment and engage with some of the discomfort that you're going through. But just wanted to set my own challenge for you guys. I ask people every week for a challenge, so I thought I'd set one for you to get in and share some of the uncomfortable things that you're going through on a day-to-day basis, and and what you've learned from them as well. Thanks so much for getting uncomfortable with me today.